What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. The Raptors get a big win over the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks were obviously missing some guys, but like I said, guys, a victory is a victory. The NBA is in a weird stance where a lot of teams are missing their starters and they're playing some other bench players or G League players. The Raptors had to go through that as well. But the Raptors get a big victory. Now, I want you to look at that third quarter because that is what I'm going to be talking about for a lot of this video. I'm also going to touch on some statistics for individual players as well as give you my 3 stars. So yes, I'm taking a new page out of the NHL and giving you my 3 stars of the game for the Raptors. So if you guys want to watch this video, if you guys are ready to watch this video, make sure to hit the like button. It does help get this video out a lot more. And if you want to hit the subscribe button for more Raptors content, that'd be absolutely amazing. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, I did want to touch upon this first and most importantly, that victory against the New York Knicks was huge because coming into the game, the Raptors were ranked 11th in the East and they leapfrogged not only the Knicks but also the Boston Celtics as well. So the Raptors are currently in the play-in. I still believe, guys, I've been saying this before the season started. I think the talent is there. They're a top 5 team in the East. I don't think, with all due respect to Cleveland, I don't think Cleveland should be that high, and neither should the Hornets or the Wizards, who are on the downfall for quite a while. So I can definitely see the Raptors leapfrogging some of these teams as well. But the Raptors finally had their core starting 5 of Scottie Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Fred Vanvleet, OG Anunoby, and Gary Trent Jr. And I believe, as Jack was saying during the game, I believe this was only the 4th or 5th game the entire season where all 5 of these guys have played, which is unbelievable to think of when you think of all the COVID protocols the Raptors have had, but also injuries as well. So it's really nice seeing all of those guys healthy out there and just the entire Raptors squad being healthy and not being in COVID protocols. Now, with that being said, let's talk about some individual performances because there's a huge performance we have to talk about. And yes, that is Mr. Bet on Yourself and Fred Vanvleet, who's looking like an absolute all-star out there, not only in today's game, but the last several games as well. But he had himself a monster game today. 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 11 of 17 from the field. But more importantly, he shot 7 of 13 from the three-point line. He made 7 3-pointers out there looking like Steph Curry, right? But no, all jokes aside, he's played really well recently. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about him being an all-star, and he's really stepped it up the last few games. He had that big third quarter there. And now I'm going to talk about the third quarter here because I thought Pascal was on a roll. We saw him get 3 straight buckets for 6 points there, and then we saw Scottie Barnes hit a couple 3-pointers in that third quarter as well, back-to-back 3-pointers, and then comes along Fred Vanvleet, who just absolutely goes off. I believe he scored 15-plus points in that third quarter and just had himself such a monster game that, in fact, we didn't get to see him during the fourth quarter at all. So he did this in 3 quarters, 35, 5, and 5. So if you're a Raptors fan and you're watching this, go vote for Fred Vanvleet for an all. So he definitely deserves it this year. But let's talk about some other players as well. Now, Pascal Siakam had himself a really impressive game as well. 20, 14, and 7. 7 of 15 from the field and 2 steals as well. Now, he did turn the ball over a little bit, but he was getting double-teamed a lot. When you notice Pascal Siakam posting up anywhere close to the paint, you saw that he was getting double-teamed a lot. And he did make a few turnovers, but you know what? That ultimately led to a lot of assists as well. Pascal Siakam recognized that those double teams were coming. He didn't try to force his game a lot, which was nice to see from Pascal Siakam, because a lot of fans have been saying he's not the number 1 option, and I have to agree, he's not the number 1 option. But once Pascal Siakam recognizes that he's a very good second option and that he's got some really nice pieces surrounding him this season, and he can play off of those guys, which is why we're seeing the 7 assists. He was playing off of the guys. He was passing the ball a lot, doing a really good job of seeing the floor and really just finding his teammates as well. So we actually got to see Pascal playing more of similar of a distributor, if you want to say, rather than Fred Vanvleet. Fred Vanvleet, we saw him play a little bit more off ball, and Pascal Siakam has just been doing a good job, not only this game, but last game as well, just rebounding the ball, being in the right place, boxing out. We know we need that because we don't have a legitimate center, especially when we're playing the small ball lineup. We need guys out there to rebound. So I thought Pascal did a spectacular job of not only rebounding the ball, but last few games we've really seen it step up his game in terms of finding his teammates, seeing the floor, and not really forcing his game too much. When he gets double teamed, he's finding his teammates for those 3-pointers or just cuts as well. So I thought Pascal Siakam had a huge game today, just an overall great job of finding his teammates, rebounding, but also getting his buckets as well. Now let's move on to the third player we're going to talk about in today's video, and that is OG Anunoby. Now, OG Anunoby, when you take a look at the stats, they may not necessarily jump out at you, but OG Anunoby, the first half of this game, had a huge impact defensively, and he was aggressive in that first quarter, using his physicality to kind of just bully RJ Barrett, who's a really good defender as well. But OG Anunoby is recognizing that he has the physical capabilities of really pushing these guys around, and he used that to his advantage today. We saw him really aggressive in that first quarter, but his defense was huge for the Raptors as well. There's one particular play where Scottie Barnes turned the ball over. It was a 2-on-1 for the Knicks, and OG Anunoby, he's not really going towards any player, but one of the Knicks players threw the ball up for an alley hoop, and OG Anunoby, very high IQ play, intercepted the ball and got a steal there. As you see there, 3 steals today, did a great job defensively. He didn't really look for a shot that much in the second half, but I thought he did a great job in the first half. And by the time the third quarter rolled around, there's a lot of other guys that were really doing well individually as well. So I don't think OG Anunoby necessarily needed to force his game like last game, but I thought OG Anunoby had a spectacular game. He did a really good job overall. Great game from him. We also have to talk, of course, about the rookie as well, Scottie Barnes. Now, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists. The 0 assists is a little bit surprising because we know he's a spectacular passer, and he actually got to, I believe it was the second quarter when Fred VanVleet was sitting, we got to see Scottie Barnes kind of handle that point guard duties, and we got to see him distribute the ball. And now he did turn the ball over a little bit, unnecessarily, but it was just uncandid of Scottie Barnes. You don't really see Scottie Barnes turning the ball over like that again. He is a rookie, and this was probably the first time in this entire season where he actually looked like a rookie, which is crazy to think because he's been performing so well. But 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 of 9 from the field. And like I said, he made those huge 2 3-pointers in that third quarter. That personally got me excited. You can see Scottie Barnes was excited. He was jumping around, yelling, and he's just a really fun player to have on your team. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from Scottie Barnes. It's cool to see him kind of get those point guard duties as well. It's fun to see him. I believe at one point when Fred was sitting on the bench, we had him, OG Anunoby, Yuta Watanabe, I believe it was Kem Bertrand, Chris Boucher. So that was a very interesting lineup in terms of length, just having so much size out there. That was really fun to watch. But I do want to give you my 3 stars of the game. So the third star of tonight's game has to be OG Anunoby. Just the impact he had defensively, but just how aggressive he looked in that first quarter as well. I thought he did a good job of getting his baskets, playing good individual defense as well as team defense as well. And when we talk about the second star of the game, it has to be Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam is one of those games where he had a spectacular game. He didn't do anything wrong, but much like how OG Anunoby was last game, where OG Anunoby, you could have argued, got the first start if it wasn't for Pascal Siakam. But Pascal Siakam is in that same position where he had himself an amazing game, but we know who that first star is going to be. There's one player who had just that much better of a game than Pascal Siakam. He looked amazing out there, and that was Mr. Bet on Yourself, Fred VanVleet, who had a huge game scoring-wise. There were some times where the Raptors really struggled a bit to kind of find some baskets, and Fred VanVleet was doing a good job of attacking the basket. And just overall, I thought he did a good job of moving the ball as well, playing unselfish, and that is what I like from the Raptors today. I thought they did a really good job overall of moving the ball, playing unselfish basketball. It was great to see. It was fun to watch the Raptors play, but I'm excited about the Raptors moving forward. We got some games coming up, and I'm liking it. I like the fact that all of our guys are healthy. Hopefully that continues, and we get to see these guys grow. You really saw the chemistry grow as the game went on. So personally, I loved what I saw from the Raptors today. The victory was huge. As I highlighted, they're moving up in the standings. But I do want to ask you guys, what did you like about today's game the most? Do you agree with my 3 stars of the game? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys are still watching this video, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.